Tree Country 1330 WTRE. It is 10:03 on this beautiful Wednesday morning. We've got Mr. Hunter in with us from Greensburg Community Schools. Good morning.
Good morning.
We're wrapping up. It's counting down.
It's countdown day, I guess. I'm sure most of the kids have it counted down. That's for sure, and probably the teachers as well.
They have those cutoff chain things, they make and cut off the days.
Yeah. So what do we have? About 11 days, I think, or something like that. Yeah.
Way home stretch now.
Yep.
Last student day is the 28th.
28th. It'll be our last student day, and then our last staff day is the 29th.
All right.
So it's not too far off.
It is not.
But we have a lot to do between now and then.
I would say this is like
not
the
over.
busiest weeks of the school year.
Yeah. So just want to congratulate the kids and staff as well for I think a really good school year. Want to say thank you to some retirees that we have at the end of the year. The board recognized them last night at our board meeting. We have Jenny Welledge, who's retiring after 28 years, and Brooke Hughes, who's retiring after 30, Jenny Morath, who's retiring after 37, Sherry Dunn after 32, Martha Montgomery is retiring after 22 years, Barb Nelson's retiring after 18, Barb Noah's retiring after 12, and Donald Black, one of our bus drivers, is retiring after 28 years of driving for us. So those are retirees, and I just can't say thank you enough to them, the wonderful job that they've done over their careers, both in the classroom and outside the classroom, in helping our kids do the best that they possibly can. And just tremendous people, brought a lot to the table every day for our kids, and they most definitely will be missed.
The longevity in reading that list is amazing. I mean, the number of years that they've all invested.
Well, it's been amazing probably the last decade to see that, the number of staff that are retiring after 25 years or more. It's just very difficult to see that happening in the future, because our young teachers now, it seems like a lot of them move to other places. They move with spouses for jobs and so forth. And, maybe we will have that longevity out of the group that we have right now. I can only hope so, because I think with longevity comes, a lot of things you can bring to the table, not only in what with your subject matters and everything, but just the relationships you build, in the community. But, we'll see. We got a great young staff and still have a lot of seasoned veterans at all levels who just do a tremendous job every day. And I just, I really can't say enough how much I appreciate our teaching staff and our support staff in Greensburg schools. They really do come in every day and try to do the best that they can.
You had a board meeting last night. You mentioned that.
Yes.
Other news from the board meeting?
Well, one of the things that we had some discussion on last night is, as everybody around the state knows, next year we're going to have a new policy that's going to go in place about cell phones.
Yes.
And, we've had some discussion at every building level about that. The real simple, rule with it is you can bring your cell phone to school, but it's got to be turned off and it's got to be in your locker all day. It can't be carried around in your book bag or on your person. It has to be stored in lockers at the junior high and high school, or in the bins that they have at the elementary schools will be stored in there, but it has to be off. And, if there are situations where kids need cell phones, we'll allow that to happen, but that'll be determined at the building level. And that's going to be a huge adjustment. I mean, most kids today haven't gone 8 hours without their cell phone. And, we'll get through it. It wasn't even a rule necessarily that we put into place. It's a rule that the state put into place. And, we have to follow it, and we'll do everything we can to make that transition as easy as possible, not only for our kids, but for parents who've been used to calling their kids at different times during the day. Not going to be able to do that if it's an emergency situation. We have phones in all of the office areas, and you can call the office, and we can get in touch with your child for any type of emergency situation. Very similar to when you and I grew up. If you need to get in touch with your child, you called the office and they got in touch with the child for you. And we're not trying to hinder any type of emergency situation with communication between child and parent, but it's the law and we have to do it. And as I said, we'll we'll adapt through that process over the course of next year, and it will be a difficult probably transition for some parents and kids alike.
I saw another school just a county over. They've had a couple practice days of no phones just to kind of get into that groove. So, but it's state law. It's bell to bell, right?
It's
That
bell to
there is-
bell.
Yeah.
Yeah. So essentially for us, it's 8 to 3. Yeah.
All right. New era, new transition.
New era, new transition, and it's just like education's not the way it used to be. I mean, you just take a look at our virtual school that we started this past year. We have about 70 kids that have taken advantage of that, and it's just another opportunity for those kids. Many of them were homeschooled, and they chose to go the virtual school route with us because we are providing free classes to them through Indiana Online. And it's a little bit more structure, but at the same time able to stay home and also able to participate in the activities that we have in our junior high and high school. They can be parts of clubs and athletic activities as well. If they participate in at least one class, during the day, they can also participate in all of our extracurriculars. High school has a few different rules with it because of IHSA, but we're trying to just provide as many opportunities as we can for the kids here in Greensburg to provide something for those that just maybe can't sit in a classroom of 30 kids or in a building of 600 kids or 800 kids. They're better off doing it at home with some supervision from the parent. Hopefully that's what's happening, and we're providing every opportunity for that to happen. Jennifer does a fantastic job with our virtual school in not only getting kids enrolled and set up with their classes and all that, but also following through on a daily basis, helping them if they're having any types of issues. And so, that's new this past year. And I say, I was hoping to get 20 kids, and I think we've had, close to 80 on and off. And we have 16 seniors that are graduating this year. And all of the kids who went to the virtual school as a senior are graduating. So that's really great. We had 3 kids who graduated with honors diplomas from the virtual school. Not really interested in being one of those huge virtual schools with hundreds or thousands of kids, but want to provide opportunities for our kids right here in the community that need that virtual atmosphere to be able to go to school every day.
When you first started the virtual school, it obviously something brand new, and your expectation was 20 kids, well above that. Has the entire school kind of met your expectations or exceeded what you were thinking would happen?
It's probably far exceeded what I expected. I give all that credit to Jennifer. She and Mrs. Badel, who work in there. They just do such a great job with the kids and making sure everybody is on track, checking daily on attendance and grades, and giving just counseling direction for things that the kids need to be successful. If you don't have a person like that, the program could have easily fallen on its face as well. But they are just so committed, and our kids that come in on a regular basis. We have some kids who come in almost every single day to the classroom space. We have a great classroom space there for kids, and it's just hopefully an enjoyable experience where they see that education isn't, it's not always a negative where they're struggling with the drama of school. They can focus on their academics, and like with these 70 kids, it's far exceeded anything I had dreamed of, because quite honestly, I wasn't a proponent of virtual education. I think, kids need to be in school and have the socialization that goes with that, but we're providing, hybrid where they can take the classes online and still enjoy the social aspects of school if they choose to do that as well. So it's far exceeded what I hoped.
It's been good, yeah. We'll see it again next year, right?
We sure will, and we have about the same number of kids right now already enrolled for next year's classes. We didn't lose too many kids. We have had, which Jennifer does a great job encouraging. We have had some kids that came into the virtual school that are going to go back to their regular school setting next year,
nice.
which is great, and that's okay too.
Yeah. You'll take them either way.
We want to see kids graduate. That's the whole thing, and there's a good plan out there for kids. I think through work-based and through the academics that we offer at our high school for kids to be successful. If we look at the senior class that we have this year, we have 123 kids that are going to graduate on June, whatever day that is, 6th, I think, at 9 a.m. And we have 5 early graduates in that class. So there's 128 kids in that class. Out of that class, we have 26 kids that are going to receive the honors diploma. And we have 44 kids that are getting the college core, which means their first year of college is paid for, done. Yeah.
Nice.
And you look at that, that's a third of the class that has their first year of college taken care of at any school in the state. We have 31 kids that are getting the governor's work ethic certificate, which is also huge. That is not an easy thing to get. There's a lot of dependent on grades and attendance and work outside of school. So just congratulate those 31 kids. We have 80% of our graduating class in 2026 who have college credits. So
that is
80% of that 128 kids have college credits upon graduation, and 75% of those kids did it through dual credits. They have dual credits that they received at our high school, and then when we look at that, we had over 3,000 college credits earned at our high school this year, and when we have that sign out front that says early college. And I think it really speaks well for Greensburg High School that we really are an early college. We get kids ready to go to the next level of college and give them those classes that saves the parents a lot of money and saves them a lot of effort as well to have that first year under their belt when they leave to go wherever they want to go to.
You look at that number of credit hours, the 3,000, and you take that times what a credit hour costs at any university.
It's over $900,000 minimum savings for kids through the dual credits that we offer at high school, and especially when you look at the college core where that child's got their first year of college paid for.
Yeah, absolutely amazing.
And then we have, in our high school, we have over 60 dual credit courses for a high school our size. That's pretty amazing to have that many different courses. 14 of our teachers, though, are fully qualified to teach those dual credit classes right there in our high school. A lot of dual credit classes kids take, but they'll go to a co-op to take them or something like that. Ours are taken right there on campus. Our kids don't go off campus to get any dual credits. They either take them from our teachers, the 14 are certified at our high school, or we do have a few Ivy Tech teachers who come into our Learning Center and teach college classes there at the Greensburg Learning Center. So all of our kids, they stay right here at home and they get those classes. We have 3 of those actual dual enrollment classes that we do down at the Learning Center. We also, we have I think just such a great diversified curriculum in our high school. This year we had 42 kids involved in our welding classes. 18 kids did the ICAP program. We had 57 kids who took the communications class and got that credit through Ivy Tech at the Learning Center. We had 53 students who got the psychology class at the Learning Center. We had 14 students who were successful with the medical terminology class that we offer. And I think you guys know we really push our CNA class.
Yes.
And we have about 20 kids that have participated in that. And I know this summer we're going to have 9 more kids that are going to graduate with their CNA degree already under their belt. So we have about 20 kids right now that are participating in work-based learning in high school, and we have all those 20 kids are getting paid internships out there in the community as they're doing that work base. And then we have, I just have to say a multitude, because it's probably in the hundreds of kids that are either doing job shadowing or other work-based opportunities out here in our community, because our community as a whole, the businesses, especially in our community, and some of the industry, they just do a great job working with us and providing opportunities for our kids.
I was talking to one kid that graduated last year. He came out of doing welding and went right into a full-time job, has a great job, and he's a tradesman. He wasn't going to go to college,
right.
And it worked out so well for him. And he even says, he's like, that was the best experience I could have ever had.
Yeah. Well, most of those kids who go right into the trades working in construction, we have a lot of kids involved in the construction aspect of it too. They may start out as an intern in construction, making who knows, $16 to $20 an hour probably, but probably within just a matter of a few years they're going to be making who knows how much, $30, $40, $50 an hour if they're really, really good at what they do, and that's what we hope. Again, I'm never going to give on the fact that I want our high school to be a very high academic place for kids to go and get what they need to where they can go anywhere post-secondary they want and be successful in college. If you look at the Clifford boy who graduated last year, he was the top engineer at Purdue this year. That's his sophomore year, and that's pretty significant. The preparation that he got, at our high school helped make that happen. So, I just will always stress the importance of academics, but I also understand the importance of those kids that aren't going to go on to college, that we have to provide every opportunity we can for them to go out there and be successful in our community, because the majority of them, they're going to stay in our community. Unfortunately, a lot of our college graduates, kids who go on to college, they don't come back to Greensburg. And I know we've really been working hard. I know Mayor Marsh and our city officials have been working really hard to provide opportunities and enhancements in our community that are going to make these young people want to come back to Greensburg. And hopefully we'll see that come to fruition over the next couple of years in the next decade. It's not something that happens overnight, but I think it's something we're really working towards, bringing those young people back to Greensburg.
Absolutely, yeah. And the statistics just from the senior class, I think speak highly of what you guys do at Greensburg.
Yeah, it's, I think when you look at the statistics, what I just talked about in a class of 128, to look at the success of those kids, it's amazing. And probably those that are going to sit through graduation on June 6th are going to see we have an awful lot of kids that are graduating with 4.0s.
That's phenomenal.
It's going to make there's going to be a lot of speeches. So,
so get ready. Get in there, get a good seat.
You'll get to hear from a lot of different kids, and I won't say that number because something actually could change between now and then, but it's a significant number of kids that are graduating with 4.0, the largest number I think we've probably ever had. So, I don't care. I would take 128 kids graduating with 4.0. So we're just very appreciative of this senior class. They've been great leaders all the way through, and they just continue to excel in everything that they do. And hopefully they've set some examples for the kids that are under them, the freshmen through junior class, that they're going to want to do the same things that these seniors have done.
It's been great. It's been a very good class. Any other stuff from the board meeting?
Well, one thing last night, parents will be glad to know that there won't be any increases in food service costs. The breakfast and lunch prices will be the same next year as they were this year. We also want to encourage parents to fill out the climate surveys that we send out. We send out surveys every year to parents and to our staff and to our senior class to get some information back on them about how Greensburg Schools is serving them as a student or their children. We want to know, and that information is really, really important. We sit down and go through it and try to make any needed changes or really listen to the suggestions that come from parents and from our kids and from our staff. And some of the significant things that have happened in Greensburg schools over the past few years have happened as a result of information that we've gathered from those surveys. So please take a few minutes and fill out the survey. It'll only take you a few minutes to fill it out. There's a place where you can make any comments that you like, positive, constructive, hopefully, criticism, whatever you can put on the survey so we can take a look at it.
Use your voice. This
Use
is
your
your
voice,
opportunity.
absolutely.
So use your voice.
Most definitely is. Just want to say congratulations to a few other groups that we have this year. If you maybe you've seen that our high school social studies academic team, they finished third in the state last weekend up at Purdue.
Amazing.
Just want to call them out. That's a great accomplishment. Malachi Boersma, Bryson Gerling, and Oakley Smallwood. They were the three participants on that team. And Mr. Mercado, from the high school, he is the teacher that coaches the team. And it's been a while since we've had someone actually place in the state competition. And these kids did a great job. And I'd also like to recognize the elementary archery team. They made it to nationals,
Yes.
and their scores were just really tremendous. They had a final score of 29-19, which was hundreds of points better than they've done all year long in any of the other competitions, and they just kept getting better all year long. So congratulations to the archery team on making it to the nationals, and also our elementary math team. Third grade, they finished third in the state as well.
Well, goodness.
On their competition, and that was Hudson Berger, Salome Boersma, Lily Callahan, Aiden Dong, Elliot Gill, Brantley Gurley, Valeria Hernandez, Leo Kern, Hudson Krauscher, Iris Plager, Adelaide Rutherford, Sebastian Russell, Brandon Summer, and Andrew Whitaker. Congratulations to those kids on a job well done. So
starting in third grade, just think by the time they're a senior, they're going to be.
well, and you look back at some other things over the course of the year. Everybody knows you take iRead in third grade. Well, you can also take it in second grade, and if you pass it in second grade, you don't have to take it
You're
in
done,
third grade.
right?
We had 70% of our kids pass the iRead test in second grade. That is phenomenal. The state average was, I think, somewhere in the 40%
That
range.
is amazing.
So, that just kind of shows you what's happening in our early elementary. Especially, probably a lot of that is kind of started at the level when they come in preschool, getting them ready for kindergarten, and then those kids being ready for kindergarten and advancing through that in first grade, and then in second grade, they're really ready to learn all the basics of reading and pass that iRead test. So just congratulations again to the elementary on a job well done with those kids. And really, when we get to third grade, we'll probably have a few kids that won't pass, but quite honestly, they can't pass. Because every single kid has to take it.
Yeah,
Doesn't
there's
matter
no
what your
exception.
it doesn't matter what your disability is, what your level is in any way. You're going to take the test, and we just have a few kids that not an issue that they're not trying or not putting forth effort or whatever, but they just don't have the ability to pass the test. That's okay. We're gonna still give them every opportunity through remediation and things that we do to help them be the best readers that they can possibly be. But I've always said over all my years, you can't succeed if you can't read. So our goal is make every single kid goes through Greensburg schools the best reader that they possibly can be.
It's a vital piece of life. You
It's
have to have it.
It absolutely is. So you can see here, a lot of really good things, happening in Greensburg schools over the course of this year, and I just listed a few there. But it all comes down to great community, great parents, and you send us great kids every day, so we should be doing great things with them. And I think that speaks for itself. And again, I want to say, congratulations to this senior class. Very, very proud of them. If you look, we have some great kids in track and field right now. We have some great kids, conference champions, I know, on the tennis team,
Yes.
and they're looking forward to the sectional. And then our baseball and softball teams, both of them are just doing outstanding jobs, vying for the conference championship as well. So, we look at the athletic end of it. Our golf team's doing well. We just have a lot of great kids that excel in everything they do. And, that speaks so well for parents, because kids can't do it by themselves. And the most important thing that you can teach your kid is to be at school every day and try as hard as they can. And that's all you can do. We don't all have exactly the same amount of abilities, but we can all work hard and we can show up every day. And when I talk to employers here in the community, that's what they want out of any employee. Ones who can show up every day, that can communicate and collaborate and be part of a team. That's what's really important. And those are the things that in our portrait of a grad, if you look at what we try to accomplish over the course of K through 12 with our kids, that's what we're looking for. Those qualities that are going to make them either successful later in life by continuing their education, or successful later in life by picking something that they love to do and go out there and be really great at it, whatever that job might be.
When you look to, as this year is ending, next year is starting, you're going to be bringing in new kiddos. So pre-K, kindergarten are going to be coming in, and you look at, what are they going to be when they're seniors? What's interesting though is you're starting to see less coming in, because population is a big piece of it. We were talking about that off the air. That's an interesting find, that population is just down.
Well, you got two really big factors right now. Kids do have choices. They can go to other schools, or they can go the virtual route. They can go to homeschooling. And some do choose to do those. So that affects numbers. But our greatest factor right now in Greensburg affecting our numbers is just the number of kids available. I went back with the health department and looked at our live births the 2 previous years, when we had small kindergarten classes that would have gone into those kindergarten classes. And those numbers were way down. I compared that to this coming year's live births, and it's even 25 less than those 2 years. So, I think we can probably anticipate even fewer kids in kindergarten this year than the previous 2 years, and those are the 2 smallest kindergarten classes we've ever had.
Wow.
So right now we have 70 kids that have signed up for kindergarten. Now, there will be more than 70, and I ask, please, 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 if you are a parent and you have a child going into kindergarten next year as a 5-year-old, please get them enrolled so that we can have a better picture of exactly what that kindergarten number is going to look like. Yeah, it definitely is. We're going to have the same number of teachers. We'll have smaller classroom sizes next year, but we need to be able to plan for that in the future. So please, if you have a 5-year-old, get them registered. If you got a 4-year-old and you want to go to free preschool, half a day with transportation provided, get them enrolled in that. The preschool is just about filled. We're almost at our max for our preschool.
That's outstanding, though.
Yeah, and I would put in a pitch also for the new All for Kids center there at our learning center. They also are taking, I know, enrollment for after school, before school, and during school programs for infants all the way up to school age. So if you need childcare, that's also available. And we also partnering with our YMCA next year to provide their after-school program. All the kids are going to be at Greensburg Elementary next year for the after-school program. The ones that we already had through our partnership with the Y, but also the ones that would have went to the Y are also going to go to the after-school program at the elementary. So we're trying to do everything we can to work with those in the community to provide child care before, after school, during school, whenever
you need it.
It is an issue. You can't work if you got a child that you don't have any place for them to go. So we all know it's expensive. Greensburg preschool is not expensive,
It is
though.
not. It is
It is
free.
free, and we pick your child up and we take them home. So, and we're the only preschool in the state that I know that provides transportation for preschool. It is not an all-day preschool, but it is a half-day preschool.
And so enrollment is ticking away with that, though. There's not any spots
Yeah,
left.
yeah. If you're gonna use our preschool, you need to get signed up for it, and because we're about through the planning stages there, and we'll cut it off because we're approaching that 70 number that we use.
Which is great. And how many years has preschool been in place now?
I think this is going into the 6th year or so.
So for it to grow, I mean, it's grown and to be full, that's amazing.
Well, and I think you can just look at before we had the preschool, we were actually retaining about 25 kindergartners a year because they just weren't ready to go on to first grade. Since we started the preschool program, we've retained 1 kindergartner.
Wow.
So, if you don't think preschool works, and our whole purpose for the preschool program was to provide opportunity to parents that just couldn't afford preschool on their own. And so we made it as easy as we could make it to get your child into a really outstanding preschool program where they're all certified teachers. We're level 3, as far as state accreditation, and it's just a super experience for those 4-year-olds to get them ready for school the next year.
There's absolutely no lack of opportunity when you look at Greensburg schools from pre-K through that senior year.
Well, that's what our motto is, what our brand is, think opportunity, and I know I live it. If I see where other schools are doing things that I know are going to benefit our kids, I always look and see, can we do it? Can we make this happen? And that's one of the concerns that I have mostly with the financial situation around the state, not just affecting schools, but city government and all entities that rely upon property taxes, and also our community members that that property taxes are an issue. There's no doubt about it. But property taxes go to schools. It's called an investment. It's called an investment in your community, investment in the future of those living in our community. And if we have to withstand many more cuts than some of the programs that we do, they may not be there, and that really that's going to impact our kids, and that's going to impact our school district.
And that's the tough part, is you don't want to see anything that's going to take an opportunity away from them.
Absolutely not. And I'm out in our schools every single day, and the thing I like most is, for the majority of the kids you see, they got a smile on their face. They enjoy being there every day. They may not enjoy everything about school. None of us did, or probably nobody likes every single thing, but there's a lot of opportunity there for them to just enjoy themselves over the course of that 8 hours.
And finding something they love. I think that's what I see out of the Greensburg schools, is they can find that path that they really like and get to pursue it.
Yep, absolutely.
And I think you celebrated 45 years, is that right?
Yeah.
I thought so.
Yeah, this is my 45th year, believe it or not. They've gone by pretty fast. So
when you look over your 45-year career, look at all the changes.
Yeah, there's been a few.
There's been a few.
Yeah. Been a few to our district, and been a few to education in general. Greensburg Schools has always been, I think, a step ahead of many other districts in the state with our facilities, with the programs that we offer kids. And my goal when I came in as superintendent was just to carry on the great things that are going on and enhance those great things with new things our kids are going to benefit from. And, I always said, I want, whenever my tenure, this is my 27th year as superintendent, whenever that tenure ends, I just want to make sure that things are better than when I found it. And, I think at least most days when I look around and I see what's going on, I know that it's in good hands with the people that are in charge of our kids. And, the buildings decide, how great a system you have. And, my job's just to stay out of everyone's way and provide them with the resources that they need to do their job in the excellent capacity that they do it now.
once again, graduation June 6th.
June 6th,
Yeah.
9 a.m.
There's a lot still. I mean, there's award programs. The schools are full of activities until that.
Yeah, we
day
kind
comes.
of, of last year we didn't have all the awards programs at our elementary that we had in the past. And one of the things through the climate survey that we put out is parents really wanted those awards programs. So this year we're back to having an awards program at the different grade levels at the elementary. Of course, on the 28th, we'll have our awards program at the junior high and at our high school. So everyone will be recognized for all the accomplishments that they've had over the course of this year.
It's been a lot of hard work, but it's paying off, and obviously through that senior class, you can see it.
Yep, it only pays off if those kids, after they walk across that stage on June 6th, if they have the opportunity to be successful. And that's what we hope and pray for every one of those kids.
Absolutely. Again, kindergarten registration's open. Get them in.
Get them in, please. If you have a 5-year-old that's going to kindergarten, get them in. If you have the desire, maybe you're a homeschool parent and you have the desire to look into the virtual school, contact Jennifer down at the virtual school, and she can give you all the specifics of that. If you need to have any discussion with me, my number's on the website. So, we'll be happy to talk to anyone about anything. And just thank you to the community of Greensburg. Thank you to parents that send us great kids every day. And most importantly, thank you to the staff and students in our buildings that work really hard every day.
It takes a whole village to get those kids through a day at school.
It absolutely does. And if you don't believe that, then just go out and park at the elementary parking lot and watch dismissal. It is amazing how fast 900 kids get on buses and in cars and out of the parking lot. And that takes everybody, all hands on deck to make that happen. But that's just an example of that.
Absolutely. No,
Yeah.
it sure does. Anything else that you want to pass on from the schools?
Nope, just come out here these next few weeks and support the kids that are actively involved in our athletic programs. They'll really appreciate that. And like I said, we got a great tennis team, got a really good softball team, a really good baseball team, and we've got some outstanding track athletes that'll be in the state track meet come the end of the year here. I just amazed every year the product that we put out.
It's been a fabulous year, and
Yep.
we already look forward to the next one, right? It's coming quickly.
There'll be a few more, hopefully, for me.
That's right. Mr. Hunter, thank you so much for being in with us. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. It's 10:41 on Tree Country 13.